Man, it's going to be definitely an honor and a privilege. Obviously, I've admired Pop from afar from years, and when you're in this for a while, as he's done for a long time, there's so much respect there, not only for his basketball IQ, but just for who he is as a person, as a competitor and all of this. And so Pop has always been someone that I've spoken to, before jump ball, during the game or whatnot, if it's just a little conversation here or there. So I'm excited to learn from him and the coaching staff here.
Chris Paul introduced as a member of the San Antonio Spurs yesterday at a press conference. Harrison Barnes also had his introductory press conference. And Chris Paul's had an interesting last few years. The Suns were able to move on from him, trade him to Washington. He ends up getting traded to Golden State. A lot of people didn't think Chris Paul would last a year in Golden State. He did. They end up waiving him. They can't find a trade partner for that guaranteed salary, so he ends up signing an $11 million one-year deal with San Antonio. I made it very clear yesterday, Kevin, too. It's like everybody always equates the championship chase of Chris Paul. He doesn't have a ring. He's not going to win one in San Antonio. He says at this point he just wants to hoop.
What's the meme? He's 2 years sober from when he said, "I'm addicted to getting to the NBA Finals." Congrats.
But a lot of his comments, he talked about how I'm away from my family. I know I'm not going to win a championship, basically. I just want to play because when I'm not playing, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I mean, personally, that's great for him. But I think when you look at his legacy and all that stuff, it's really interesting because we talked about when Steve Nash was here too. He made guys' career. DeAndre Jordan was just a raw center prospect, and then he helped him take his game to the next level, and he's still in the NBA. You go through the list, DeAndre Ayton got to the NBA Finals, had his best run. He was essential to that guy having a lot of success with the Suns, and now he's paired with a guy who everyone thinks is going to basically succeed LeBron. So I think when we look back at Chris Paul's career, it's going to be that. He changed the game in many different ways, but he helped out a lot of individuals who themselves might change the game.
Yes. You're hard-pressed to find an all-time great player. He is an all-time great top 25 player of all time, maybe, who's played on this many teams.
Journeyman.
I mean, seriously. And
Shaq is there.
Shaq is there, but this is even more than Shaq. And several of those teams were in his prime, changing teams too, which you don't often see for all-time great players.
But by the way, I'm sure you've seen the meme that's out there, the rainbow meme.
Yeah.
Shaq had the uniform rainbow. Gray/white is not a color in the rainbow. It doesn't work for Chris Paul. He's just played on a lot of teams. But he did talk about, obviously Victor Wembanyama being a huge draw for him being in San Antonio.
Victor being here helped too, obviously, and them having a young team and getting a chance to watch him, right? I played against him this season, and I tell you, there's probably no player in the league that everybody in the league talks about after the game like him, because everybody has to adjust stuff. Me and Harrison was on our flight yesterday just talking about how cool it's going to be at this point in our careers to get a chance to appreciate him day in and day out. So that definitely helped.
That's pretty interesting. Nobody gets talked about the way that Victor Wembanyama does. Is it the newness factor? I mean, being 7'4" with that skill set and coming from a foreign country in his first year, there's a lot of newness there. I get it. It's jarring. I saw him in person for the first time, and I was like, "That he can't be from this planet."
Yeah.
But to hear Chris Paul, who's seen everything, say that is pretty interesting.
It's crazy because we're not that far removed from saying, Luka and how he immediately impacted the NBA coming from Slovenia and overseas playing pro. Giannis obviously came up a different way and was more of an athlete before we realized he's a really good MVP caliber player every year.
Jokic also was kind of slow to become.
Yeah. And this guy just, has met the expectations, I would say, and the things he does are just so unique, and I think that's the draw on it too. It's his size. Go look at highlight clips of France's exhibition games, how he's playing aside Rudy Gobert, and he looks like a point guard, but he's 7'4".
Yeah,
it's just a mind-boggling combination of skills and size, I think.
The question is, how much better now can he get? Which makes it almost like the perfect thing for in year two to pair him with Chris Paul. I want to ask you, Crazy KZ, as you like to be called.
I do.
How good do you think the Spurs could be now this year with the veteran additions in year 2 of Wemby?
Gee, Jarrett, that was where I was going to take the conversation as one of the co-hosts of the show.
There you go.
But thanks, man.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'm
Thank you
giving
for
you
helping. He's
a little
helping
rest,
me out.
little
He's
break.
helping me out. Yeah. Your question was how good you think they'll be? Yeah, he's putting his feet up.
Yes, I know. He's being very childish.
He's being dramatic over here.
No, I'm just getting comfortable.
I don't think they're going to be a super playoff contender. I think they're now going to be in that tier of like 7, 8, 9, 10, where they're going to be in the playoff conversation. I think Wemby's going to be really good. He's going to take a huge leap forward, but I'm not sold on the rest of that roster. And if Chris Paul's healthy for a full season, like that's going to help, but I'm still not sure.
Yeah. Another former Sun in a new place being introduced yesterday. Mikal Bridges in New York, across the bridge with the Knicks.
I'm excited to be here. Excited to be a Knick. Excited to play MSG. Excited to see my guy Spike courtside. I don't know, just great to be here. Obviously, just the team we have and Tibbs and everybody. I want to thank a lot of people. Thank Leon, thank my agent Sam and Jordan. Thanks to the Nets organization, everybody. They've been great since I've been there. So, just really appreciative and, excited to get to work. I hate that it's the summer because you got to wait, a long time to play. But really excited.
We've focused a lot on the Western Conference, but, man, what the Knicks accomplished in the playoffs, the run they made with the odds stacked against them from an injury standpoint, and then they follow it up, and the first big domino to fall was Mikal Bridges getting traded from Brooklyn to the Knicks. I love what they're doing in New York. And it's been maybe the first time in my lifetime I can say that with a straight face.
Yeah, the Hartenstein loss was a big one, I think, but
to bring back Anunoby too,
Ooh,
and a lot of people expected that not to happen.
this is going to be
And
like
Julius Randle is going to be healthy, who
Yes.
didn't even play in the second half of the season.
Yes.
of teams when you think about toughness, and their head coach, by the way, who might ruin Mikal Bridges' healthy streak. Let's knock on wood.
Hey,
but
he can only play 48 minutes a game.
he's going to be capped there. Yeah, I think that's going to be the toughest team in the NBA, man. Just their wing switchability, their size, their physicality. Like OG's going to lock down your bigger forwards. Mikal's going to get the main perimeter guy and kind of go back to what he did on the Suns.
Yes, he's going to be a third option offensively at best on that team on most nights if Randall and Brunson are healthy. I love what that addition is so good.
And we didn't even talk about, do Suns fans know who they drafted? Tyler Kolek. Lots of Suns fans wanted him on the Suns. Kevin McCullough Jr., who I don't know why he fell, but I thought he was in the range if Suns could draft him, and then he falls way into the second round. A good wing defender. So they just have a really deep, really dynamic roster.
Yep.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.